we're going to be working on Go Tell Aunt Rhody. This one, your students will learn quite easily, I believe. The thing you want to point out first as you're looking at the different sections with your students, the first line, have them also identify the note names. At this point, you should be working on saying the names of the note, not just looking at fingerings. So in other words, really using 3 questions per note. The name of the note, what string it lives on, and how many fingers it takes to play it. So those of us who are using Suzuki books, but also are maybe in the public school system or things like that, you know, we want our kids to read music well, especially by the time they get into middle school. So make sure you're working on their note reading with them. Okay, so in the first, we start on our C sharp, and also think skip, step, or stay the same. So when you look at that first measure, you know, ask your students, how are those notes moving? Are they staying the same? Are they skipping? Or are they stepping? And also make them aware of when they are stepping they stepping up 1 or are they stepping down? So are they stepping up or down? So when you look at the first measure, you go from C to C. So you wouldn't necessarily be telling this, you'd be asking this. If you have them partnered up, you would be having them working with their partners, identifying. So in other words, in that very first measure, you have from C to C, which is stay the same, and then you step down from C to B, and then you step down from B to A, and then you stay the same. So that way you're working on how the notes are moving on the staff. They're able to identify it, even if at this point they don't really know the names of the notes. They know how they're moving. So that's seriously of utmost importance, really. I try to work on that with my students as much as possible. Okay, so you'll do that through the first, line, which is your first section. Singing the note names as well. So you would start on your C. So C, C, B, A, B, B, C, B, A. And you'd work, if you work 2 measures at a time, it depends on the dynamic of the group that you're working with as well. And then the next 2 measures, and then you can put them together, and that makes your first section. So you can give your sections cute little names, or you can, ABA, however you want to do the form as well. And so you'd identify your first section as section A, then have them look at that second section and ask them, is it the same or is it different than the first section? Also, you can see that within that next section, the B section, that in measure 5 and measure 6, noting how those notes are stepping up and then how you step back down. Also, there's a dynamic marking in measure number 7, so identifying piano, what that means. And let's see, it looks like at the end of this measure, there's a mistake. Okay, at least in my book, I see that there's a retake symbol that doesn't belong there in measure 8 in the Suzuki book. So if you have that in yours, this one is in, this is in the revised edition. So I believe that is a typo. So you wouldn't do a circle bow because you, on measure number 9, would start down bow. Okay. And then in the third line, you would also identify that it is the same as the first line. So working on form and just working in your sections. This one they'll love. This one you can add if you're, you know, a general music teacher. This one's fun to have different little things you can add. Maybe some unpitched instruments, the little gobble wobble, and possibly you could add alto xylophone on this. Kind of make it fun for your group. Remember, you're going to have different levels of players when you're doing a Suzuki group. So you may have some students play some other different instruments that you've taught them in your general music classes. All right, so I'm going to start from the beginning with introduction. And working on this different bow stroke that you're using for Go Tell Aunt Rhody, because remember, they just played Song of the Wind, so you have a different bow can't talk and play at the same time, different bow stroke here. So identify that as well. All right, try it again, sorry. Hold. All right, have fun with Go Tell Aunt Rhody.